Hello again. Today, I am going to talk about behavior boundaries. Why do we need them? Now, we know that children need boundaries because they help children feel safer. They provide a sense of security and allow children to explore their world with a sense of adventure and excitement. They develop a sense of autonomy and learn to make decisions and solve problems independently. However, it is essential to remember that children learn best by example. When we model the behavior we want our children to emulate, they are more likely to follow in our footsteps. When we show them how to control our own impulses, manage our emotions, and take responsibility for our actions, they learn by osmosis. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much indeed. It may take time and practice, but the long-term benefits are well worth the effort. By setting clear, consistent, and age-appropriate limits for our children, we are giving them the tools they need to become happy, healthy, and successful adults. We are also giving them the gift of self-control, which will serve them well throughout their lives. They also learn to control their impulses and emotions and to take responsibility for their actions. In the long run, these children are better prepared to succeed in school, at work, and in life. Enforce the limits consistently and calmly. Ignore minor infractions and focus on the major ones. Give children choices within the limits you have set. Model the behavior you want your children to emulate. Be patient and persistent. It takes time for children to learn new behaviors. Praise children when they behave appropriately. Make rules and limits a positive part of your family's culture. You're more likely to be self-sufficient, responsible, and caring citizens. When children are not given the opportunity to develop self-control and learn how to regulate their own behavior, they can become impulsive, irresponsible, and overly demanding. They might struggle to make decisions, control their emotions, or take responsibility for their actions. In the long run, these children might find it difficult to succeed in school, hold down a job, or build meaningful relationships. They need to know where they are and what's supposed to be happening. That's one reason they often push against boundaries to begin with. They like to know how far they can go, so they need to know what the limit is. Once they know the boundaries, you can have more fun within those boundaries. This also helps establish rapport, trust, and respect. However, as soon as they step outside of the agreed limits, you need to remind them immediately and as clearly as possible. Keep instructions concise and to the point. Avoid nagging, which is draining for everyone. Children can feel chaotic and unsettled if boundaries are inconsistent or not evenly enforced or clearly drawn. Have clear boundaries that are fair and age-appropriate. So keep them simple and clear. Try to express your expectations in a way that shows you will back up what you say. You can say no kindly. It is good to set boundaries, and you are in fact doing them a favor by doing this, especially in the long term. Remember, it is their choice how they act and react. Stand your ground for their benefit as well as your own. So boundaries and limits are essential for children's healthy development. On the other hand, when children are given clear, consistent, and age-appropriate limits, they learn to trust that the world can ideally be a safe and predictable place. It can be challenging to set limits and enforce them consistently, especially when we are tired, stressed, or busy. So why do we need behavior boundaries? Because they help children learn self-control, which is an essential skill for success in school, at work, and in life. How do we put them in place? Decide what behaviors are unacceptable and what behaviors are acceptable. If you would like some more hints and tips on managing your child's behavior and helping with their learning, no matter what their age, please check out my book. Simple but effective, in the link in the description.